Yo, Grim here. I haven't done anything in a while. I was on holiday for 2 weeks in America. Got some American cards as well. Happy days. I'm based in the UK, so like for me, American cards and the printing's are a lot nicer. But yeah, I went up there. It was a good 2 weeks. I didn't really do much regarding like YouTube or anything, just because my main purpose wasn't cards. But yeah, so right now I've got a amazement deck. Just been playing around with it. It was something I was gonna do before I went off to America, but I think I only uploaded a Sarctic before I went. Um, Also, it sometimes takes me a while to reply to people on YouTube. I usually do like something where I reply to everyone I can when I see them, but I'm not the best at like catching up on the replying on comments. So apologies in advance for that. But yeah, otherwise I can just get into this. So amazement's kind of like a trap deck. The idea though is that your traps equip to monsters. And then they have two effects based on who controls the monster. So the whole thing is just like equipping your amazement traps to them, getting specific effects off from their trap cards. It's a really fun deck, and it's not actually that bad either. It's just quite inconsistent, honestly. It has some consistency problems. So I run triple Arcano, well, amazement administrator Arlecchino. I think running three of him you kind of need. He is your boss monster. So a lot of builds are running two of him, and I was like, oh, he's just a big level 7. He could be dead in your hand, but he does summon himself if a trap card is activated. That's if your opponent activates one as well. So you could imperm someone and then summon him from your hand, which is kind of cool. He's basically multi-faker in that context. He's just a multi-faker. Um, His first effect is like he banishes amazement traps from the grave and then destroys target's card your opponent controls equal to the number you banished, destroys them. That's not a quick effect, unfortunately. If it was a quick effect, the deck would be a lot better. Um, and then his other effect is when an opponent normal special summons a monster, you can equip an attraction trap to it. That's the main effect that gets used. So it gives you access to your traps from your deck, which is really nice. But otherwise, I do believe you need three of them. Like, I've played two before, and you do run out quite easily. The main reason as well to play three is I play two of Amazement, Abomination, Arlecchino. So he summons himself from his hand. He then searches. We have to control an Amazement, monster. So that's the condition for him. Is if you control an Amazement monster, special summon this card from your hand. If you do, add an Amazement family faces from your deck or grave to your hand. That's really nice. It gives access to family faces. The only way previously to search that, I'm pretty sure, was time ticket. But the fact he searches it from grave as well is really cool utility. He also has a quick effect on your opponent's turn to make a monster that has more than zero attack. Zero attack, basically, shuffle him into deck and then get your amazement administrator from your deck. So I think running three of the administrator Arlecchino and then two abomination is a good ratio, because abominations you can't really get out of your hand unless you control an amazement monster. And I don't actually run that many because majority of their smaller monsters aren't that good. But yeah, two has been a really nice number for him. And then I run triple Comica. So Comica is like the better one. That's the one you want a normal summon. So when normal summon sets an attraction trap from your deck. You definitely need three. All the small ones have a quick effect, which is like, well, not all of them, but I'm pretty sure most of them have quick effects that like re-equip the attraction traps around. So Comica does that as well. Just basically takes one of your attraction traps equipped to something and re-equips it to any monster on the field. Uh, so it's really handy in a sense because you can kind of pick and choose which effects you want them. But definitely need three Comica, really good. And then I run one Delta. Delta's not that great. You can real trap in your hand, summon it, and then it lets you like send attraction traps from your field or your hand to grave to then set a different one from your deck. It's not too bad, but you only need one of it, in my opinion, just for that like recycling effect to like change your targets. And then one Bufo. So Bufo is he's a recycler. So he equips them from your grave to monster on the field, and then he has the effect to change the crypt traps around. You only need one of them though. In my opinion, he's not that great. But that's all the amazement monsters that I run. And then I run triple Ash Blossom, staple, good card. Uh, two Wannabe. So Wannabe's actually been really good. In this deck, it's just really handy to have. Excavating the extra traps to hit stuff is like. Sorry, I'm very tired. It's really helpful because this deck can search its amazement traps quite well, but it has no way of searching normal traps. I mean, I guess when you say it like that in the past, that's like a foreign concept for most traps. It's like searching trap cards is what Trap Trick was for. But Labyrinth kind of just shows that that is not the case anymore, and every normal trap card is searchable. I was trying to figure a way to put Lady in this deck, and like kind of like hybrid Labyrinth with it, but it just didn't really work out too well, so I just decided to go pure instead. Playing against Labyrinth with this is pretty rough, I'm not gonna lie. But for sure, 2 is nice. You don't want to run 3 of it. If you see 2 of these in your hand, it's not the best. And kind of just seeing it sometimes is nice. So 2 is a really nice ratio. You can change it for a different hand trap if you want. You could put like Nibiru's in or Drolls. But I think having access to some of your other trap cards is nice. That's for monsters. Onto spells. I run triple time ticket. Time ticket is fantastic. You know, pay 800 in your turn, you search an amazement monster. In your opponent's turn, you set an attraction trap, which can be activated that turn. Really good card. Definitely want to run 3 of it. And then triple desires. Not desires, sorry, extravagance. Again, like you don't really care about your X deck, so you could use props. I was considering doing like a 2-1 ratio, so 2 extravagance, 1 the prosperity. But I'm currently sitting on triple extravagance. I feel like prosperity in this deck is not that great. Like getting 1 card doesn't impact this deck that greatly. There isn't like 1 card that will be like, yes, this will change the turn. The extra like cards from drawing 2 is more likely to have an impact. So I don't think I'll ever use Prosper in this deck, honestly. Extravagance is just far better. And then 1 Cool Buy, because Cool Buy is a very good card. I mean, some decks you go against, which it won't hurt, but majority of the time, it is a very good card. Onto trap cards. So for the amaze, the attractions basically, we're on triple cyclo. It's a searcher. It's also like an MST, but it doesn't destroy. It sends, which is kind of important because there's some stuff that's like certain things on show with card effects, but it sends spell traps to the grave with itself. It is good though. You definitely want to run 3 of it. It does search your amazing monsters as well. I think with these is like you can't like activate an amazement trap card, target opponent's monster, and then like chain its own effect. Again, you have to let it equip first. So you go activate Cyclo, target a monster on the field to equip. Your opponent's like, sure, I have no response. Then you could then go on resolution, any response, and like, no, you go effect, add an amazement monster. They all usually send themselves to grave as well. At least that does. There are a few amazement traps, but I'd probably say I like a bit better in the sense that they don't send themselves to grave. So you have like triple horror house, for example. Horror house is one of the best ones, honestly. So Cyclo's like utility. It's a searcher, it's removal for spawn traps. It's a really good utility card. Whereas this is a really good disruptor. Because if it's equipped to your opponent's monster, you can flip it to face down defense mode, which inherently would then get rid of this card, so it dies. But if it's equipped to your monster, it's just a once per turn effect veiler, which is fantastic. It doesn't send itself to grave, it's just a once per turn, negate. Which is really, really good. It's really handy. Then I run triple thrill train. So again, it's more like utility thrill train, a little bit of interruption. Like the first effect is recycling, which doesn't come up that often, but it is kind of needed. It's a really good recycling effect. It can just keep setting your amazement, your attraction traps from your grave, and then the other effect is like banishing your opponent's monster to the end phase, which gets rid of it, but it like gets rid of your opponent's monster for one turn. So really, really good card. One Viking Vortex. This is just like a one-off in my opinion. You can probably use a different one if you want. The other one is it's not the Ferris wheel. I forgot the name of it. Like the go-karting one. That's also a really good option for running one of, because it has like two forms interruption. But the Viking Vortex, the first effect is like kind of helpful if you think you're gonna like need it for battle phase and negating attacks, etc. The second effect's the main one, which is like if it's equipped to opponent's monster, if they equip monster after its effect, you return to the hand. So you can kind of like equip it to an opponent's extra deck monster, and then be like, oh, well, you activate its effects. This will activate again and return it to the hand. So it's a really handy card. And then one Family Faces. So I did 1-2 with this, but I took the second one out for the Viking Vortex. And the main reason was because the Abomination Arlecchino can grab this back from graveyard. So in that sense, I don't need the second. The second it's just honestly like a dead draw. You can snatch steal stuff, it's great, but it requires you to have your attractions and your attractions to stay on the field. Like, sure, as long as you equip it and then use your Family Faces to target, and then you can take control of it. But a lot of the times, it's a good card, don't get me wrong, but it's like, it's recyclable. You don't need more than one. You don't activate one per turn as well. So a lot of times, you'll like snatch steal something. It'll either die or it'll be something that'll kill them. But then when it goes to grave, you can just get it back with the Abomination. So I only needed one of that. I still think I'll stick to one. And then for non-attraction traps, I run triple punishment, because it's like removal of 2 cards or removal in your draw card. It's just a really good normal trap card. I don't really go on my X deck either, so it's just really fantastic to use. I could use like an Ecclesia, an AD Seraphin package in this, honestly. Just to have that extra ability of like searching the punishments. But for now, I'm just using the punishments alone. I might consider using like triple Ecclesia, triple Nadir. But putting them in, it's like 6 slots. It's a lot of like space to fit them in. Don't even know what I'd take out, honestly, to do that. So for now, I think I'll just like the triple punishment. But yeah, it's a fantastic card. And then triple Imperm. Imperm's fantastic as well. I definitely would not cut this like ever, especially in this deck, because Arlecchino can summon from your Imperm, which is kind of like the same with Multi Faker. It is a trap deck as well, and Imperm itself is just a really good card. So definitely wouldn't take these out or change their ratios. And then the one Eradicator. So this is just like my one-off. I've loved this card at 1. It's really good. Wannabe digging for it's kind of nice. It's quite interesting seeing like your opponent's face when Wannabe hits it, and they're like, oh well, Okay, nice. Um, it's just a really broken card, and it's really easy to proc off because Arlecchino is a dark. The Abomination isn't. The Abomination is a light, if I remember correctly. Yes. But the three Arlecchinos are all dark. You can just activate a trap, summon from your hand, eradicate it, cool spells, or traps depending what you're against. This card is like, honestly, a lot of times it's just a winner, like a game winner. It will just win you the game. And then for X deck, it's just punishment targets. So it's triple Entis. She's the main one, so 1-3. One Skull Knight and one Skull Wagon. They're just like removal that sit in your grave and you use them when you want to use them. Double Garua, just draws. You can side X Super Polys because you've got them in here. One Baron, you normally want Ash and you synchro with your Arlecchinos into it. One Wind Pegasus and one Malong. Not many people use this card, but it's good. It's just if it's sent to grave, returns a face-up card, you put jaws to the hand. One of each of those. Two, the Tri-Brigade guy. He's got 3,500 attack, then he can send you Guru and you can draw a card. So, big attack stat and draws a card. It's just handy. The one Aggregator. Again, having one of each type that has something to go on in grave is really nice because you can then side deck triple Ultimate Slayer. And then you've got like every target in your X deck that's good in the grave as well. So Ultimate Slayer is a really good card to side deck in this. One Baguska. Baguska is a really good card. And this is just a flex spot. I was just putting this in. Honestly, if I had an SP Little Knight, I'd probably use SP Little Knight instead. But for now, I'm using this. You could use Excite All Night, anything you really want. Gaga Cowboy for gaming time, whatever. But for now, this is what I'm using. It's not too bad. It's an okay card. Doesn't really come up. But yeah, I would just using this as a flex spot and a chance to test that card out. But yeah, that was Amazement. It's a really fun deck, honestly. If you want to just have some fun and relax. It's another deck that you've got to really understand timing and like interactions of like how your opponent interacts when you activate cards and what windows are open after you activate a card and response windows. But that's like any deck. Once you learn those type of things, though, I think nearly most of these sort of roguish fun decks are actually good. A lot of times you can beat people with the best decks if they don't understand certain rulings and certain like game mechanics, and you do. But other than that, I hope you like this. Feel free to comment any ideas or anything, and I will have a look at them. A lot of times, I end up shifting some of my decks that I do profiles on, so I don't usually have them anymore. But I'm always happy to talk about stuff. Anyway, bye.